Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share with you my top 10 fat loss tips that have helped myself as well as my clients, and I'm sure will help you as well. Okay, so point number 1 is to eat less calories than you burn. This basically means if you burn, say, 2,000 calories per day, you should be eating under that to then lose weight. This is the most important aspect of losing fat. Now, say you burn 2,000 calories a day. If you eat 2,000 calories a day, you're going to maintain. If you eat over 2,000 calories a day, you are going to gain weight. So a point of reference would be if you wanted to lose 1 pound of fat per week, you would then need to eat 3,500 calories less than you consume currently per week. Split that up into 7 days. 7 days a week would be 500 calories per day that you need to eat less than you do right now. Given that what you're eating right now is what you are maintaining at the moment. So how do you know what is your maintenance calories? To get your maintenance calories, you need to figure out your total daily exercise expenditure. Now you can do this online. This is short phrased as TDEE. That is what your maintenance calories are. You can get that online so that you know that takes in your weight, your height, your exercise level all into consideration. Once you've figured that out, you can then start dropping the calories from there. So yeah, that is the most important tip I can give you today. If there's anything from this that you take on, it is that you eat less than you burn per day. So yeah, next. So number 2 is to prioritize resistance training. Now this is your weight training, your strength training, you're in the gym. Don't need to necessarily be in the gym. If you've got home gym, you've got some sort of weights, whether that be heavy milk cartons or bricks I've seen people use as well. Anything, try and get to the gym. Obviously we can't right now because of quarantine, but once we're back in there, you've got to prioritise that. The reason why is you would have heard of a saying called skinny fat. That's what you kind of look like if you don't prioritise resistance training when you lose weight. You'll just kind of look, you've got a really flat stomach, but there's nothing really there. There's no muscle, which is fine. But if you want to have that kind of tone type look, you've got to prioritise resistance training. Another reason why is because it's going to help keep your metabolism when you're losing that weight. If you totally go on to just cardio, you'll lose quite a lot of your muscle. Not a huge amount, but you will lose quite a lot because you are in a calorie deficit, plus you're doing cardio. You really will wreck your metabolism by doing that. So resistance training is super important, as well as people don't realise how much resistance training can actually burn calorie wise during the day. It might not burn it as much when you're actually doing it, but for instance, if you've done, say, heavy deadlifts or heavy squats with like all your kind of heavy compound movements, you'll actually feel your heart rate go up quite a lot when you're training. But then after that, you're gonna kind of create an afterburn effect and continue to burn even more throughout the day. So next is to eat a balanced diet. Now this is making sure you're not cutting out any food groups. I don't want you to cut out carbs, I don't want you to cut out sugar, I don't want you to cut out your chocolate, I don't want you to cut out any of that. A balanced diet is key to making this fat loss long term, long lasting, and that you're going to be able to stick to for a healthy lifestyle for the rest of your life. So that's the main thing if you ask me. There's no fad diets going on around here. I kind of follow by a 80-20 diet. So that means 80% of your diet is super healthy, whole natural foods, and then the other 20 you can have a little treat here and there. Now that doesn't mean, say, Monday to Friday really healthy, Saturday, Sunday cheat days. No, you'll probably end up going over your calories for the week in that case, which is most likely because you end up going in a type of binge mentality. So you really need to try and avoid that, and you're better off doing really healthy meals throughout the day. And if you really feel like it, then have a little chocolate, that's fine. Just try and track everything so it's all still within your calories, but it doesn't mean you can't not eat carbs, you can't not eat, you've had too much toast today, or that's not how it works. As long as it's under your calories for the day, then it's fine. You do what you want with it. But then that leads me on to the next point. Okay, so tip number 4 is to eat whole natural foods. So this means more veggies, less processed foods, and this is a hard one. I find it really hard as a person as well because everything is processed nowadays almost. So natural foods would be things like potatoes, your chicken, pulses, anything that's just whole and unprocessed, that's not been made in a factory basically, like crisps and like a pasta packet, that type of thing. So another little tip I have for this as well is when you are having a kind of sweet tooth kind of craving, rather than have a sweet or like gummies or chocolate, anything like that, try and have some fruit instead, replace it with that. Or if you're really craving it, have some of the grapes or apple or anything like that first, and if you're really still craving it, which is highly unlikely, then have the tiniest bit afterwards. So yeah, that was a wee tip I had as well. Okay, so point number 5 is to eat high in protein. Now when you do this, you will feel, again, fuller for longer. It will help keep your muscle when you're on this diet or you're cutting down, because it's quite often that if you aren't high in protein, you'll feel like your muscle will then really start to go quite fast. So that protein helps keep a hold of your muscle when you're cutting. Now high protein is roughly about, we would say about 0.7, 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So say you weigh 120 pounds, then you should have 120 grams, roughly 110 to 120 grams of protein per day, and that works within your calories. So on MyFitnessPal you can actually adjust your percentages, so that's quite good for when you are tracking. Adjust that to roughly, sometimes it won't let you put in exactly 120, and then your carbs and your fats, you can play about with them to however suits you, whatever you find's best, higher carb or higher fat. Again, there's benefits to both, but we can talk about that in another video. Number 6 is to be more active throughout the day. So this means taking the steps instead of the elevator. It means park your car right across to the top of the car park so you can walk down. It means getting your daily step count up. It means finding those chances to get up and walk about. It means clean the house, like it means basically just get moving more. So if you find that you are in a sedentary job, it can be you wake up, sit down, do your makeup, sit down, eat breakfast, sit in the car, drive to work, sit at your desk for 8 hours, then you come home, sit down, and then you watch TV or have dinner, and you basically sat the whole day. So that's not good. What we want to try and do is up the amount of activity you're doing per day, and this will up your total daily exercise expenditure, which means you can then eat more than you would normally sitting down all day. I think it's quite a good thing to have a tracker. For instance, I've got my Apple Watch, or I used to have a Fitbit, they're really good as well. Garmin, they also are quite good as well. If you don't have a tracker, your phone does the exact same thing. You just need to obviously make sure you have it on you pretty much all the time, which most of us do anyway. I will show you just now. It's on the Health app, and then the steps for the day are just there. So it's morning time just now, so I've only done 1,400, which is alright, I've not really done much. So say you only reach 7,000 steps a day. Make the goal 8,000 per day, or even 7,500 per day. That's better than you were doing. And then again, in a couple of weeks time, try and up that again. So you want to try and aim for 10,000, and then from then on up it again. I mean, it gets to a certain stage where you can't up it anymore. That's totally fine. That's where you can then add in cardio. Which brings me to my next point, which is point number 7. Use cardio as a tool. Now, cardio is totally, some people really don't like it, which is fine, but cardio's there for your heart health, for your lung health, it's there for your overall fitness, so you can't neglect it. But when it comes to losing weight, that doesn't mean go on a treadmill for 45 minutes to an hour just burning yourself out, because it's not worth it. As I said earlier on, as soon as you come off that treadmill, that's all you burn. So that's why you want to have a mix of your main priority is your resistance training, like 4 to 5 times a week, and then you've got your cardio in there. Maybe start off with like 3 cardio sessions a week. Now that can be steady state cardio, or you've got HIIT cardio, and that is high intensity interval training. If you're doing high intensity interval training, I wouldn't do more than 3 times a week maximum, because it is so tasking on your body. You're doing high intensity training, so yeah, only 3 times a week for that. When you're doing less, which is your steady state, low intensity steady state cardio, that is less tasking on your body. So that means going for a hike, or like an incline walk on the treadmill, or the elliptical, even like a slow jog. That's all less, and that's going to help you actually recover from your weight training. A lot of the time I feel I'm usually a lot more kind of looser and feeling a bit better and less tight if I do less the next day after a super heavy leg session. So using those as tools to help you burn those calories a wee bit more. So I wouldn't go in there and say, okay, right, I'm gonna resistance train 4 times a week, plus I'm doing less training 5 times a week and a HIIT training. That's way too much. Start off with, say, it depends what you prefer. Personally, I mean, I do like lists because you can shove on a podcast, shove on a YouTube video and just get on with it, and it's not super tasking. It does take up more time. If you've got the time, then go for the list. Maybe only do, like, to start off with, let's say you're doing a mix. So you would do, say, 4 resistance training days a week, plus 2 less training, and then 1 HIIT to start off. Then that's you. That's all you have to do. That's gonna reduce your calories for the week, adding those in. I wouldn't go too crazy with it. I mean, if you prefer just HIIT, maybe just start with 2 HIITs per week. If you prefer just lifts, maybe just start with 3 lifts per week max. Starting with maybe like 25 to 40 minutes. I wouldn't be doing any less than 20 minutes for lifts, and I would not be doing any more than 45 minutes for lifts as well. Then for your HIIT, you basically want to do between 10 and 30 minutes max. 30 minutes, if you're doing any more than 30 minutes for HIIT training, it's too long. You're not pushing your body, because that's the whole point of HIIT training, is your high intensity. You're literally pushing your body till you can't do any more, then you take a break, recover, then you're going again, pushing your body as fast as it possibly can go, and then recovering again. Hence why you can't do it as often as less. Less is just listen to a podcast, you're fine, you can still have a conversation, but you're still a little bit out of breath. So yeah, you pick whatever you want to do. Anyway, cardio is a tool. That's how you use it. Next. Okay, so number 8, slowly reduce calories. Now, as it says, make sure if you are, say, let's start with our 2,500 calorie person, that's how much they burn a day, that's how much they're eating right now, and they're maintaining their weight at the moment. So you don't drop to 1,500 calories straight away. You don't even drop to that at any point. let's say they've got a long-term goal. Let's start off with reduce it by 300 calories. See how you're getting on. Nice, maintainable. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this. It looks like for the past week I've been able to hit my calories at 300 calories lower than I'm normally eating right now. Super easy, that's fine. Then again, once you push yourself a wee bit more, drop it by 100, 150. And then again, and so on. I just seen something flashing on my camera, but I don't know what that means. Okay, hopefully I'm not out of storage. Anyway, so yeah, don't go lower than your 600 calories. That's when you know to stop. And then from then on, you're gonna maintain at that, start taking out the cardio again. You want to start building up your metabolism again so you can get that a wee bit higher, and then drop again. So you're doing like wee mini cuts as they go. Okay, so we're back. We were out of memory. It's fine. All good now. Number 9 is to drink more water. So, it's recommended that you drink 2 litres of water per day at least. So I drink, this is a litre bottle, so I drink about 2 of these per day, if not 3, as well as say a 0 calorie drink. I shouldn't really be having too much, but say that plus a coffee and then some like diluting juice later on. So I'm hitting about 3 litres at least per day with all of that. The importance of this is that if you're only having say a litre of water per day, you're gonna feel super dehydrated. Your cravings are gonna up even more because your body is dehydrated, so it's craving some sort of, well, obviously water, but some sort of something to eat so you can get some more water into your body. So you'll find that if you are dehydrated, you're craving more things. And that's where people say you should have a glass of water before your meal, or before you go to reach for some chocolate or some biscuits, because you're just wanting something there and then. You'll realise that actually you weren't actually hungry, you were just thirsty, because you were quite dehydrated before. So make sure you're having 2 litres of water at least per day, maybe even 3 if you want to push yourself more. I mean, water has amazing benefits. Sometimes if I'm not feeling like just plain bland water, then diluting juice or lemons help a bunch. Yeah, there's amazing benefits to having water. It helps with your skin, it'll help kind of get that pump in the gym, so your muscles get that kind of fuller look. It'll help with your cravings, your hunger, loads of different things. So for fat loss, it's amazing because you might just be thirsty at the end of the day, not hungry. Drink your water. Number 10, last but not least, is sleep. You must prioritise your sleep. If you're only getting, say, 5-6 hours sleep per night, that's not enough. You need to be having 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. If you don't have sleep, again, you're gonna feel sluggish, you're gonna feel hungry, you're gonna feel just down because your body's not energized enough and your body's not had that time to recover, and it needs sleep. You can't survive without sleep. You need to be able to recover after your training sessions and just let your body rest, especially if you are dieting, because you'll feel, even if you're in a super low calorie state, then you're gonna feel even more tired than normal. So prioritizing sleep is a must. And that's pretty much everything that I have to cover today. That's 10 tips that will really help you in the long run with your fat loss journey. Again, remember, don't stay on it forever. Do it a couple months at a time, no more than 2 months, I would say, of this, and then go back to a kind of maintenance phase and then drop again once you've built up that metabolism again. So prioritize those 10 things and you will see results, I promise. So guys, that is it. That is my top 10 fat loss tips. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any other topics in mind, then please comment them below, or if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! bye.